fellow ukuleleans. Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new ukulele tutorial. Today I'd like to do a minor blues session with you. This is in keeping with our theme of common chord progressions, and we had talked about the 12-bar blues. I did two previous videos on the 12-bar blues. Today I'd like to zero in on specifically minor blues. And that song you heard me kind of emulate in there, I did a loose version of it, was The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King. Late 60s. Great song. He kind of put himself on the map with that one. And B.B. King is one of the most respected blues musicians of all time. American blues artist that really took the genre into the households of all of America. You know, blues was kind of a specialty thing, and people that were blues fans were way into it. They went to blues festivals and they bought blues records, but B.B. King kind of put it on the Tonight Show, and he put it on Ed Sullivan, and he brought blues to the whole world. He was like kind of an ambassador of the blues. So let's look at that song of his, The Thrill Is Gone. We're going to learn it first in B minor, but for those of you that maybe aren't so into bar chords and up the neck type stuff, we're going to do a quick version at the end in A minor, which will be easier for you. Alright, it's a 12-bar blues, but it has a decidedly melancholic and kind of minor feel to it, because it doesn't use a whole lot of major chords. It starts on a minor chord, a B minor chord. 4-2-2-2, B minor, bar chord. That's the basis of the whole song. That's the tonic, the root. And then we have an E minor chord. That's a super easy chord, but 0, 4, 3, 2, E minor. Yes, there are other ways to play E minor. You know, we could play E minor 7. We could do a 4-finger E minor. We could do E minor way up here. We're not going to get into all of that today, all the different voicings of E minor. Let's just have one good E minor for this song. And again, that was 0, 4, 3, 2. You can do that, no problem, right? The problem is keeping it in tune. And just a quick word on that, you know, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, but I'm about to change the strings on this ukulele. These are shot. I've been using the same set of strings for 2-3 months now, and it's time. It's time to get some new ones on here. Love these strings, but I have a nice set of Fremont black lines waiting, a high G. I'm going to go back to high G, and you'll notice my ukulele will sound different. But just a quick word on that. If you find your ukulele sounds a little dull, doesn't have that bright zing to it, and it doesn't have that excitement to it, it might be because your strings are really old, you know. If it won't stay in tune, as mine is having a little trouble staying in tune today, especially my A string, that might mean your strings are shot, you know. They're worn out. They just aren't up for the task anymore. And you can tell from looking at them too, you know. You can tell they're kind of dull looking and not as bright and shiny as when you put them on, because your fingers have worn them out. They're just, you know, ready to go. And then the final sign is if you run your finger underneath the string where the strings touch the frets, and you feel any roughness down there underneath the strings. I don't have that particularly. These are just, you know, dull and worn out. They're not physically ready to break or anything. I could probably get another 2 or 3 months out of these if I was lazy, but I am going to change my strings. On my low G, though, I do feel some little grooves under there. There's some wear starting. So if you feel like it's rough underneath on the underside of your strings, that's because they're getting worn down and they're getting ready to break. So you want to change them. So when in doubt, change your strings. I know it's a lot of work, and I myself, I just changed the strings on 3, or I'm about to change the strings on this 4 instruments in a single week. That's a lot of string changing, but you're just so glad once you've done it. Once you get through the tedium and you know how hard it is to change strings, once you actually do it, you're so glad you did it, because your instrument just zings and has so much more life. It makes you want to practice more. Alright, so getting back into the tune, it has 4 chords basically. B minor we talked about, E minor we talked about, and then what we're going to have is a kind of unusual chord for a blues, a major 7th chord. You don't see those in blues much, but B.B. King decided he really wanted that chord. And that is 0-2-2-2, G major 7. Not normally seen in blues, but this is a different kind of blues. And then finally the last chord was F sharp 7. And that is not a bar chord, it's a totally closed chord. It has no open strings, but it's not a bar. It's 3-4-2-4. So when you play through the song, you have B minor, for a long time, but now it goes to E minor. Back to B minor. Here comes the G major 7, F sharp 7, and B minor. On top of that, B.B. King singing, "The thrill is gone, thrill is gone away." And he always, on his guitar, he fills in when he's not singing. He does these little lead guitar fills, which is so cool. He rarely played guitar while he was singing. He would sing a line, then he would play a little lick. He would sing a line, he would play a little lick. Unlike other performers who would strum their guitar while they were singing. B.B. King didn't really strum his guitar much. He didn't do very many chords. He was mostly into single notes, but he was a master at it. He was one of the best. He was known especially for vibrato, getting the note to like sing like that and really sting, and also bends. The way he would manipulate the strings like that, just masterful. One of my favorites. So you have a little bit of chord action, and then you can fill in if you want. And the scale of choice here would be a B minor pentatonic scale. B minor blues would also work. With the blue note. We'll get into scales in perhaps a different video. I'm not here to teach you about lead ukulele playing and scales necessarily today, but for those of you that are into it, there you go. There's a couple tips. You want B minor pentatonic and B minor blues. Those will get you through on this song. Alright, so we have 4 bars of the 1 chord. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the 4 chord, which is E minor for 2 measures. Back to the 1 chord for 2 measures. That's 8 bars. Last 4 bars go G major 7, F sharp 7, and B minor for 2. There is no turnaround. You know, some blues have that little turnaround in bars 11 and 12. This song doesn't have a turnaround. It's a little sparse. It's not filled up with stuff. They leave a lot of wide open spaces. That's part of the appeal of this song. You can really hear the emotion in the lyrics and B.B. King's guitar playing and just the ambiance of the whole thing without filling it up with tons of different sounds. Alright, so The Thrill Is Gone is a very easy song, but it's a perfect example of a minor blues. We kind of took our chords from 12-bar blues in major keys and just replaced them. So let's convert this over. Let's transpose into the key of A minor for our purposes today. So the 1 chord is going to become A minor. The 4 chord is going to become D minor. And then that thing on the last 4 bars where it used to be G major 7 to F7, now it's going to be F major 7, beautiful chord, and then E7. If you don't know F major 7, I did that one as 5500. Really evocative chord, really beautiful. There's a harder fingering, it's 2, 4, 1, 3. Kind of a different voicing, but it's the same chord. That's an F major 7 too. I just chose not to do that particular one. It's a little hard to grab, and I like the sound of this one. I have to admit, a little bit better. So it's easier and it kind of sounds nice in this context. But let's do The Thrill Is Gone in the key of A minor, starting with an A minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, an E7, back to A minor. So it's really easy in the key of A minor, possibly easier than B minor, simply because we don't have any bar chords to deal with. They're all chords that use open strings. And so A minor is a perfectly good one, and maybe you can sing it a little easier in A minor. It's a lower key. The thrill is gone. Whereas B minor is, the thrill is gone, a little higher. So for those of you that don't like to hit high notes with your voice, the thrill is gone, that might sit right in the right place. Alright, so it's a fairly easy tune. And minor blues, there are tons of other ones out there. I mentioned a couple in my last video, like Cold, Cold Feelin' by Albert Collins, one of my favorites. He was just an incredible guitar player. Wow, even a little bit beyond B.B. King as far as like technical facility and all of that, technique. But B.B. King had so much emotion in his playing. And then there's Led Zeppelin had a great song on their third album, Led Zeppelin 3. It was called Since I've Been Loving You. That is quite a workout on the minor blues. And there's lots of others. Gary Moore and Johnny Winter and all kinds of great blues players have minor blues in their repertoire. So hopefully you realize that blues is such a wide genre. There's so many different things you can do at blues. You know, you can play the simplest country blues with just major chords. You can spice it up with 7 chords. We learned how to throw in some jazz substitutions and turnarounds and walk downs, and here we are doing a minor blues. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to blues that we could do. But I just wanted to introduce you guys today to the minor blues via The Thrill Is Gone. I will link to song sheets so that you can get at those chords and look at them and have a nice document of it. And of course I will link to B.B. King singing this song so you can hear it. I'll also make a little playlist so you can link to YouTube videos on those other songs that I mentioned. Plus I'll probably have about 10 or so minor blues that I'll link to so you can hear a whole world of minor blues. Alright, ukuleleans, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the minor blues is something that you can add to your repertoire. And as always, be sure to subscribe, be sure to click like, and be sure to click the notify bell so that you know when I come out with a new video, which I try to do once a week. Alright, fellow ukuleleans, you take care. Happy Halloween. I will catch you later. Bye-bye.